Every evening, at exactly 6 p.m., an old man named Daniel sat beside the window of a small cafe. He always ordered 2 cups of coffee, one for himself, one for someone who never came. The workers at the cafe wondered why. Some thought he was lonely, others thought he was waiting for a friend. But nobody knew the truth. 30 years earlier, Daniel had fallen deeply in love with a young woman named Sarah. She was kind, beautiful, and full of life. They met in college and quickly became inseparable. Together they dreamed about traveling the world, building a family, and growing old side by side. One day Daniel bought a ring. He planned to propose to her at their favorite cafe, the same cafe where he now sat every evening. But fate had other plans. On the day he was going to ask her to marry him, Sarah was involved in a terrible car accident. She never made it to the cafe. Daniel waited for hours. Then he received a phone call that changed his life forever. His world shattered. Days became weeks. Weeks became years. Friends encouraged him to move on. His family begged him to start a new life. But part of his heart remained in that cafe, waiting for the future that never arrived. As time passed, Daniel grew older. His hair turned gray. His hands became weak. Yet every evening he returned to the same table. 2 cups of coffee, 1 empty chair, 1 broken heart. Then one winter evening, a young waitress finally gathered the courage to ask him, "Sir, why do you always order 2 coffees?" Daniel smiled sadly, his eyes filled with tears. He pointed to the empty chair. "Because that's where the love of my life was supposed to sit." The waitress stood silently. Daniel continued, 30 years ago, she promised she would meet me here. She never arrived, but I still come because every memory of her lives in this place." The young woman could not stop crying. For the first time, she understood. This wasn't about waiting. It was about remembering. A few months later, Daniel became seriously ill. One rainy evening, he entered the cafe, weaker than ever before. The workers helped him sit down. He ordered 2 coffees, as usual. But this time, he looked different, peaceful. After a few minutes, he quietly closed his eyes. A gentle smile appeared on his face, and he never opened them again. The next day, the cafe placed a small photograph of Daniel and Sarah beside the window. They also left an empty chair at the table. Years later, people still visited the cafe. Many asked about the photograph. The workers would tell them the story of a man who loved so deeply that even time could not erase his memories. And every evening, as the sun disappeared beyond the horizon, the empty chair remained there, a reminder that true love never truly leaves. Sometimes it simply waits in our hearts forever.